I love to see it, and most times I would say, you know what? I hope people end up on end on their feet, land on their feet at the end, because there are some people who did just show up to do a job, to do their jobs. But then you have companies like this, like Sweet Baby Inc. and Take This, who just deserve every bit that they get. They know what they're doing. They're in business to do a very specific job. Sweet Baby Inc. and apparently this other Take This are in the business basically to force diversity and all that crap into pretty much everything. Most of the time we see now it's video games. And people are tired of it. Look at Concord, look at Dustborn. They did horribly because people saw the crap they saw what was the underlining thing there. They're not concerned about making a good game anymore. They're not concerned about putting out an entertaining product that will make them money. In fact, these people have no problem whatsoever spending hundreds of millions of dollars just to force their DEI bullshit. They have no problem because it's not their money. So right now we've got Sweet Baby Inc. This was from September 7th. Doing exactly what I've been saying they are gonna do. Any company, any business, or anyone who, this is what they do. They'll come out and just start calling you names. Sweet Baby Inc. CEO defends company's work, says critics are part of the greater movement toward a lot of very far-right thinking. What? You don't like what we're doing? You're just a bunch of Nazis. Every time, because these people, they're not smart at all. These are like those pseudo-intellectuals. These are the people who are like, oh, well, I'm college educated. Okay. You can be college educated all you want to be. It doesn't change the fact that you're stupid. And then we have this activist organization that encouraged game developers to denounce gamers is now begging for $80,000 in order to remain open. Executive director looks exactly the way you would think. Let's read the Sweet Baby Inc. one. Also they had where is it? Yeah, this video. And they bring up Gamergate because, oh god, is Gamergate in the room with us right now? But yeah, so basically they just these companies, despite the fact that gamers are speaking with their wallets now, and it's pretty obvious, they continue down the path of let's force as much diversity in as possible. And when you pick up on it and you call us out on it, we're just going to call you a bunch of phobes and isms, and you're a bunch of Nazis, and you clip wings off of butterflies, because they don't have anything else. According to Sweet Baby Inc. CEO Kim Blair, most, if not all, the criticism leveled towards her company's DEI-based consultancy work is based not on any concern for the quality of video games, but rather the fear of being left behind by an ever more diverse industry. First off, we've seen the industry. It's still comprised mostly of white people. So, and the quality of game and this forced DEI bullcrap, they kind of go hand in hand. You can't talk about the quality of game without bringing up the DEI stuff, because the DEI is what makes the quality of the game suffer. Because they're more concerned about, oh, well, we got to make sure every player can see themselves, rather than writing a good story with likable characters, solid gameplay. They're more concerned about, oh, well, every player, regardless, needs to be able to see themselves. So the quality of the game is going to suffer. It goes hand in hand. You can't. So, and I've talked about that numerous times, about how they care more about the forced politics bullcrap than making a good game. If they focused on the story and introducing characters in a natural way that might be diverse, like I said, there are some points where it makes sense. Fighting games, naturally, makes sense. Shooting games, makes sense. But if you have a game taking place in China or like a extremely white place like Poland or something, forced DEI does not make any sense. You don't go to a place that is as white as like Poland, but then say, oh well, we're gonna add black characters just so people feel represented. No, it doesn't make any sense. Um, but yet you can't have a quality game if you're gonna force DEI crap. Bel Air, who's under whose leadership Sweet Baby Inc. has provided service to such titles as Marvel Spider-Man 2 and Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League. Also, where is it? Yeah. Mrs. Freeze, everyone. Mrs. Freeze looks no different than Mr. Freeze. Because in addition to forcing representation, we can't have beautiful women. And I went over, I showed what Mrs. Freeze actually looks like. She's thin, she's blonde, she's beautiful, and they made her like a fucking ugly Asian fat woman. I think I said that she looked like what is it, Prod ZD, or whatever the hell his name is. That's that's basically what they made Mrs. Freeze look like. Just like some fat Asian dude. Um, when I think of where it started, it was the week that we announced that we were working on both Alan Wake 2 and Spider-Man 2, which are two, I think, popular games among the gaming community and players in general. Immediately, the targeting began with this kind of like, we found the secret sinister website from Sweet Baby Inc. Meanwhile, we're on Twitter like, I'm so excited to let people know that we worked on these two really great games. The assumption was essentially that our work on wait, are they okay? Yeah. I was wondering if they were still quoting because there's still quotes right there. So I was like, oh, is this still a quote? Talking about the pride flags and if you're gonna have the pride flags, that's one thing, but then the people were actually getting banned for modding the game to where it replaced the flags with American flags. And then the site that was hosting the mods was like, no, we're gonna ban you. We're gonna shut these down because we can't have diversity, right? What if some people want to go around New York and see American flags? You ever think of that? It's still New York, so maybe some people want to see American flags. As the conversation continued, color, people of color, queer, or any marginalized and at all, or even sometimes they perceive, oh, this woman's design is not quite as used to as it used to be, and I think it used to be hotter. Okay, having a extremely attractive female go to a moderately attractive one, that's one thing. But these people are going out of their way to make extremely attractive women look ugly. They want these women to look like dudes. So it's not even a matter of, oh, well, they're not as hot as I remember. No, they are going out of their way. Again, look up the very rare appearances of Mrs. Freeze. Mr. Free, his wife, and she's beautiful. She's beautiful. But here they decide, oh, let's make her look like a fat Asian guy, and it's not expect anyone to give us pushback because of it. So for me, it's like if representation is innovation, innovation is change. At the end of the day, that's all that they're really afraid of. No, we're tired of real world bullcrap constantly forcing its way into, fake, like into video games. If you want to have politics based in the world, like, oh, well, Star Wars had politics, or this game, it was politics fit for that world. It might have been influenced by real world stuff, but it wasn't as it is now, where they come out just outright and mention someone like Orange Man bad. Um, Wait, what was this? Borderlands 3 co-writer CEO takes aim at Sweet Baby and critics claims most have never created a single thing in their lives and they're just proud of that they're proud of, and the rest are just straight up bigots. Again, another Borderlands 3. Borderlands 3. Defend again, that's all they do is they just come out and just call you names. If you don't like what they're doing, that's why no one cares anymore. Back a couple years ago, it was, oh man, I don't want to be considered a racist. But nowadays it's like, go ahead. If you want to call me a fucking Nazi or whatever, then Heil fucking Hitler, bitch. No one cares anymore. You don't want to be seen as a racist, do you? I don't care anymore. No one cares anymore because you people have overused those words so many freaking times. Activist organization begging for money because people are tired of the forced DEI bullcrap. And, these are the same people who are like, oh yeah, there's a demand for DEI and representation. But then you look at Concord. You look at Dustborn. No, there's not. People are not clamoring for DEI. They're not. You want to know what they want? A good game. They want a good game. Good story. Maybe moderately good graphics, because I really don't think a game with, graphics wise really determines whether a game's good or not. But good story, rich characters who you can have a connection to regardless of skin color, because there are games where you play as robots. There's games where you play as anthropomorphic animals, and yet you still have a connection with them. So good story, good characters, music, helps set the tone, solid controls. That's what people want. No one gives a crap about the DEI except for weirdos like her, weirdos like them, and the small amount of weirdos on Twitter. No one gives a crap. And people have been talking with their wallets lately. That's why you have games like Black Wukong, just right up there. But then you have games like Concord that did so poorly that they had to be pulled from the store because no one was playing it. No one wanted it. And like, what is this crap? What the fuck is this crap? Actors organization, take this, that has received significant funding from the U.S. government, is now begging its followers to give them $80K in order to keep its doors open. The organization stated, if you are reading this, you're probably hearing about what's now being called Gamergate 2. It's the latest targeted harassment campaign within the game industry, and it's aimed at Sweet Baby Inc. in a Montreal-based narrative development studio. Yes, targeted harassment. Not just calling out the fact that no one wants any of this. As previously covered, this is a lie. The initial harassment campaign was led by Sweet Baby Inc. and its employees, Chris Kindred and Maya Kramer, against Brazilian gamer Cabrutus Rambo for creating a Steam curator list documenting the games that Sweet Baby Inc. worked on. Again, people say vote with your wallets or whatever. Well, people are with their wallets. They see any game that's remotely touched if they see a game preview and they see that it's just a little bit of DEI bullcrap, they're like, okay, well, that's just what they're showing us right now. I guarantee you there's a lot more in game. And that if that's the case, the game is going to suffer because of it. Because they've spent more time focusing on the DEI rather than making a good game. So people are they're speaking with their wallets now. The Sweet Baby Inc. employees could not tolerate the Steam curator list and attempted to get Cabrusto. Oh, Cabrutus. Yeah, Cabrutus, right? Cabrutus. Cabrutus Rambo canceled and even tried to get Valve, Steam's parent company, to effectively steal his game library. Because they're a bunch of petulant children. They really are. These people, again, they resort to cancellation tactics. They resort to name calling. Oh, you're just a bunch of phobes, isms. You're Nazis. You're this. You're that. Kindred on posted on Twitter. The Steam curator harassment group Sweet Baby Inc. detected is led by this person, Cabrutus Rambo. Here's them trying to be slick so they don't get reported. This is from Chris Kindred. Even with discriminatory language filed off, the group itself still fails the code of conduct. Next he wrote, always report the F out of this group. Finally concluded with, and report the creator since he loves his account so much. Because they're a bunch of petulant children. Nevertheless, despite pushing its easily refuted lie, the organization then demanded developers denounce gamers opposed to Sweet Baby Inc. and their goals of injecting the objectively evil ideology of wokeness into video games. The organization wrote, you might be inclined to be quiet or cautious, but that's actually not helpful. As noted in our resource, Empowering the Game Industry, a major lesson learned from Gamergate was that of the importance of a loud public stance. Oh look, it's Fat Sonic. Take This continued. At the time, many studios were hesitant to address the hate and abuse from Gamergate in any meaningful way. The reasons varied. Usually this hesitation was born out of fear of losing profit. Well, what do you think you're doing by pushing this crap? You're losing profits, and you're losing a lot more in the process. Or concerning that taking a stance would attract the attention of the Gamergate mob. There's that word, Gamergate. It then asserted, in other words, failure to clearly and unequivocally denounce Gamergate and the harassment and abuse done in its name created a space for that hate and abuse to flourish, spread, and become normalized. Kind of like how companies go after the fans has become normalized. Every time you have valid, even if you just come out and say, well, I didn't like the game or movie or this or that because the pacing was bad or the plot was bad or the actors weren't very good. Nope, they'll still come out and call you a phobicism. Because that's all they know how to do. That's all they cannot take criticism at all. Hate, harassment, and toxic behavior have no place in games. And yet you're coming out and being hateful, toxic, and harassing gamers by saying, if you don't like it, then don't play it. This wasn't made for you. If you don't like this strong character, then you're just a phobist and ism. But sure, keep telling us how it has no place in the community. By taking direct, targeted action, harassment, in a timely manner, we can... I was like saying manner and about to say mitigate at the same time. Mitigate. Timely manner, we can mitigate further harm to talented, dedicated folks in games and help prevent additional reoccurrences of these harmful events. And yet here they are trying to beg for money because no one wants their bull crap. No one wants their bull crap. People are tired of it, and people are now talking with their wallets. So while these companies are funded and given however much, the company received a split of nearly $700,000 in grant money from from the Department of Homeland Security through its targeted violence and terrorism prevention grant program. And there's Dustbin. This joint project from the Center of Terrorism, Extremism and Counterterrorism, take this, and logically seeks to develop a shared framework for understanding extremism in games. Not wanting DEI bullcrap is not extremism. Wanting them to just tell a good story with good characters is not extremism. It's not. I don't know why these. Well, I know why, and I could say why, but YouTube doesn't like when people say words like that. This includes the development of a set of best practices and centralized resources for monitoring and evaluation of extremist activities, as well as series of training workshops for the monitoring, detection, and prevention of extremist exploitation in game spaces for community managers, multiplayer games, lore developers, mechanic designers, and trust and safety professionals. What do you what do you make of the take this begging for let it shut them down. Don't fund them, just shut them down. Maybe if these things like Take This and Sweet Baby Inc., if they closed and companies were allowed to just make good games again, I think we would slowly start to heal. You know, I think we're already in the process of that by these companies coming out with bullcrap, or, you know, Amazon or Netflix or whatever, you know, Disney, and people are talking with their wallets because people no longer care about being called phobes, is, and isms, because that is the go-to for those people. Oh, well, you don't like the lead? It's just because you're a phobe, you're an ist, you're an ism. Oh, you don't want to play this game? You're just a phobist or ism, and you're a Nazi. Whatever. So I'm going to take my Nazi money, and I'm not going to spend it on your game. Because one, your game looks like shit. And two, I don't like when people come out and attack the community. You want people to pay for your game and to play it and make you money. But you just consistently come out and attack fans and drive not only those people away, the Nazis and the phobes, this and isms, but then the regular people are going to look in that like, okay, they're coming out and attacking the fans. I was going to buy the game, but I'm not now, seeing how they treat the people who are going to possibly buy their game. So, in the end, it's just going to be the same people buying the games, the ones that are all sitting there and just one big circle jerk, like, oh my god, representation, oh god, you guys are. It's just those people who are just constantly going to pay for these games. So these things need to be shut down, and I think within the next couple of years we're going to see a major shift in this bullcrap, where it's more prominent that people are just tired of it. It's already pretty much there. You know, you can, thanks to YouTube, you know, taking away the dislike button. But if you go to any modern type, you know, game that enforces this DEI shit, and you have that the plugin to kind of see the dislikes, yeah, people are, yeah, they're pretty vocal about it. And then you go through the comments, and it's just, no one asked for this. This is what happens when you focus on DEI. Yeah, this game is gonna suck. You know, comments that are just tearing them apart. So people are waking up, and it's about time. It's about time. But coming out and saying, you know, that, oh, if you don't agree with this far right thinking, you're a Nazi. Yeah, yeah, because that'll get people on your side. and begging for 80K to stay open. That's because no one needs you anymore. There was a time when, it was all the rage, just not anymore. And we're so slowly seeing a change in that. So, but anyway, two stories for the price of one, both of which are just gaming companies, or rather consulting companies, that everything they touch turns to shit. But what do we know? We're just we're just the far right. We're just a bunch of phobes, is and isms, and we like to kick puppies. And when Grandma says goodbye to us, we don't say goodbye back, because we're evil. We're evil for criticizing things. We're evil for not wanting to see things forced into games, and we just want good games. We're evil for that. Anyway, that's gonna do it for me. You guys know the drill. I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.